2016 was a very interesting year to say the least. We were eating up so good and we just didn't even know it yet because at that time Disney was at their prime. They were putting out some fantastic content, and one of the best years for them was 2016 because we had Zootopia, Finding Dory, the Jungle Book remake, Civil War, Rogue One, Doctor Strange. We were eating up so good, and one of the movies that actually surprised me that year was Moana. This movie looked really interesting. It looked really cute. The animation style for this movie looked really fascinating, but it wasn't one of my most anticipated films of the year. It looked like it could have been really charming, and when I did see it, I was a little bit late to the party by a week, and I came out really floored by that movie. But since we have Moana 2 coming out in theaters tomorrow, and we got the live action remake coming out in a couple of years, I decided to give Moana a rewatch because I wanted to see if this movie still had the magic or if it was just one of those movies that I would just watch every once in a while. And boy, does this movie still have its magic 8 years later. Not only is this a really neat and original concept for Disney, but the animation style for this movie is absolutely beautiful. From the moment the movie begins, I was transported back into this world and I just wanted to engage with these characters again because this is the first time that I've actually seen it since 2016, and I was floored from the moment that the movie begins. It is just absolutely beautiful to see. This is a movie that I feel could stand the test of time for years to come and be part of a lot of kids' generational movie. This movie just has the right kind of magic and the right kind of characters. You're invested in every single one of these characters, and I think that is what brings the charm of this movie to life. It is just the characters and the journey that we go on here because we have Moana, who is a little bit more of the curious kind. The water chose her for a purpose, and she was trying to fulfill that purpose. She is trying to sail across the sea, except she has a very protective father that doesn't really want her to be out in the water. He wants her to have her role on the island, but she feels like she's a little bit more destined for something else. Feels like she's destined for greatness, and she's not going to be able to find this greatness if she's on this island fulfilling her role, which she appreciates and she really enjoys. But just having those aspirations for desire and having that potential to see how far she's able to go is what makes this character really engaging and a little bit more fulfilling for a lot of people. We all have dreams, we all have aspirations, but sometimes we have those parents that kind of hold us back a little bit from pursuing those dreams and wanting to be a little bit more. And I thought Aulili Corvaro, I do apologize if I butchered the name. I tried to pronounce it before I started recording this because I know that I tried to do it for the Mean Girls remake, and I think I butchered it there, but I'm pretty sure I butchered it here. If I didn't, well, points for me. But I think she brings the character to life. She brings a lot of that charisma to this character to make her a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more curious, and a lot of that has to do with not only just her vocal performance, but also with her singing, especially the big song that everybody knows. Not only does she have to provide the voice for Moana, but she also has to provide the singing, and boy, does she belt a lot of the songs in here to make it a little bit more powerful and having that take on the world kind of energy. She brings that character to life, but it's not just the character that she brings to life. It's also the relationship that she has with Maui. And I know The Rock has been getting a lot of flack over the past couple of years for peeing in bottles, but let's go back to 2016 when The Rock was just dominating everything and he was one of the most beloved actors out there. I didn't hear a lot of negativity around him, and around that time I was looking forward to every single Rock project because he makes a lot of these projects a little bit more entertaining than they actually should be. And just having his vocal performance in this movie, the relationship that they built between Moana is absolutely beautiful. You see where both of these characters are coming from, and I think that is what makes this movie equally as relatable to a lot of people that are trying to find their ways. Sometimes we find our ways of pursuing our dreams, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes we are made for bigger pictures, and sometimes we fail, but it's also about finding that redemption for yourself, making sure that the bad stuff doesn't let you down and you're able to become more than what you're destined for. That is what makes this movie beautiful. It's one of those movies that you can pop in every once in a while and you can kind of take away more things than you did in your first viewing, because this was my first time watching it since I first saw it in theaters, and I feel like I took this movie for granted because it is just one of the most beautiful looking movies. Just the way that the scenery looks, the mountains, the sands, the water, a lot of the animals in here. Everything about this movie is absolutely beautiful and awe-inspiring to see on screen. It's one of the best Disney projects that we've had in quite a while, and 8 years later, I think it's been 8 years, it's still one of those movies that still holds up. It's still a beautiful movie with a powerful message about pursuing your dreams and being more than you're destined for. There are some movies here and there that I really like from Disney that we've gotten over the past 5 years, but there's nothing that has hit me more stronger than this movie. And it's a movie that I feel like I need to give this movie a little bit more of the rewatch, because this was Lin Manuel Miranda before I knew who Lin Manuel Miranda was. I never saw Hamilton. Honestly, the first time that I heard about Hamilton was in Knives Out. So I didn't know the name Lin Manuel Miranda up until about during the pandemic when they released the Hamilton Broadway play and In the Heights. The music in here is still absolutely beautiful. It's also one of those soundtracks that I just kind of had to listen a little bit more, because there are a lot of integral songs in here, not just How Far I'll Go and You're Welcome, but there are also some little songs here and there, especially the last song that we have here where Moana sees her late grandma and she kind of gives her the spirit to keep going and keep pursuing her destiny. This movie is absolutely beautiful. It's a movie that I definitely need to watch more often, because I forgot how special this movie is. Not only is it very special, but it's absolutely beautiful. From the moment the movie begins, I wanted to have some teary-eyed moments in here, and I got a lot of those moments rewatching it again for the first time since in 8 years. It's a beautiful movie with a beautiful message that makes me super excited for Moana 2, but it also makes me kind of worried for the live action remake, because I know they're probably going to be doing the shot for shot remake and probably adding some things here and there, and I hope they're able to translate the more stronger moments on screen in the live action remake that we had in this film. And overall, this is a movie that really surprised me yet again. It's still beautiful, it still holds up, and a lot of this movie is still magical. But those are my thoughts on Moana. Let me know down in the comments, how excited are you for Moana 2 or the live action remake? And what do you think about Moana? Is this a movie that still holds up? Are you still singing the tunes here and there? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys soon.